I lost 70 pounds and it completely changed my life. So when I first started Elite Media, one of the biggest things that I wanted to do was to market myself. And what I did is I hired a videographer to help me out. And so he was doing videos behind the scenes, photos behind the scenes for me. And I started to see my content and myself in the content. And you know, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're kind of like, you know, looking at yourself straight, and you're like, I look good, you know, everything's fine. And then I started seeing the pictures, you know, where it's like an awkward angle. I'm sitting down, kind of hunched over, and then I look from the side, like literally my belly is like bulging out. And I saw one of those photos in a video actually, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's literally what I look like. That's me at my worst, you know? And it was just kind of like an eye-opening moment. And there were moments actually, I didn't even lock in at that time yet. So I didn't even go on this transformation health journey just yet. But I remember like trying to change things up, like wear all black, you know, wear looser fitting clothing and all of that stuff. And then what actually broke the camel's back was when I got a call summer of 2025 from the doctor's office. I had just done some blood work. I got a call. We had just finished filming this multi-million-dollar house. And the lady was like, you know what? Everything looks good. Cholesterol, it's in range. Awesome. She said, oh, you're pre-diabetic and you need to stop eating sugar. And I was like, wait, what'd you say? And she said, you're pre-diabetic. You need to lay off the sugar, your doctor said. And in that moment, it just like, it kind of wrecked me a little bit. And it was pretty eye-opening because, well, my dad is diabetic. It runs in my family. And growing up, we weren't really the healthiest. We would eat whatever we wanted. And so obviously that's how I got to the point that I was, you know, where I had to lose 70 pounds. And it really shook me. And for the next couple of days, I was processing it and feeling kind of down. But I had made up my mind. There was a moment where it was just like this shift, and I had seen people around me, friends that just completely changed their lives and took on this fitness journey and transformed their physique, their way of living. And I saw their businesses thrive too. And so I made the decision that I was gonna lock in. So I decided that I was gonna work out 6 days a week and that I was gonna stay consistent for a year. I didn't quite hit the full 12 months, but I got to hit 11 months. And the only reason I did 11 months was because we went on a cruise for a family trip, and I still worked out on the boat. It wasn't 6 days, it was 5 days, but still I committed and I stuck with it. And that shifted something in my mind. And it really taught me that if I commit to something, I will do it. I used to always think like, oh, if I commit to this, I'm just gonna not be honest with myself and I'm gonna fail and I'm not gonna do actually what I committed to. And so there's so many self-doubts that came from that, just because it was always the same routine or the same cycle of, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna lock in, and then 2 months in, and then you stop, you know? It was a constant pattern. And I had obviously gotten the biggest that I've ever been before. And how this really impacted my business and how it shifted everything was it gave me this confidence that I don't think I've had since I was probably in high school. And not that I was super insecure about the way it looked. I think I've always been pretty confident being 6'6". You're just taller. I'm just taller than everybody else. And there's like kind of some confidence to that, you know? But then realizing, oh man, I think was suppressing a lot of these things, and it affected the way I would communicate with people, approach people. And there were times actually where I was kind of embarrassed where I was shooting content and for clients, and I'm literally huffing and puffing and just a hot, sweaty mess. And it was embarrassing, like just wiping the sweat off of me. Like, there's times it's hot, but no, this was excessive. And I just realized like I needed to lock in. And so it shifted my business because of this confidence that I got, this confidence boost that I got. And I remember just talking to people, talking to these prospects and just confidently looking them in the eye, talking to them about different things, business, fitness, and all that stuff. But then the other thing that I feel like it really helped me in too was that I think there's really like something psychological that happens with the way people look and the way they portray themselves. And so if I show up looking clean, looking well put together, I believe that if people see that in me, they'll think, he takes care of himself. I believe that he's gonna take care of me and my business. And I believe that to be true, literally 100% true. And I remember just seeing that shift in people's lives, and the people that had already been following me for a long time, seeing this journey and seeing the transformation that I've been able to go through, that also helped just to build even more trust with these people that have already followed me. And so I feel like the other side of it too is that people saw a new level of discipline. People that have been following me for a long time saw that. And then also the new people that didn't know me, they still apply this thought. Like every time I would always see someone that was fit, I would always think, literally, first thing was like, oh, they're incredibly disciplined, because they lock in, whether it's on their diet or whether it's on their workouts and their routine. And so I realized that it really just built that up in me. And so I don't say any of this because I want to discourage or, body shame anybody, but I was there. It wasn't fun. And I realized that 34 years of age, when I got that call, that's not the path of life that I wanted. And so I needed to make a shift. And so I hope this encourages you. I hope maybe if you're struggling with the way you are looking, and if it's a weight issue and it's actually something you can change, then I would encourage you, just lock in, do it, get some accountability, get a friend, like commit to it and let them call you out. Like that's the biggest key, is like, I told my wife that I would do it. And if I didn't show up, like I knew she was gonna call me out. And so it really does change your life. It really shifts the way you think, and it makes you see what was already inside of you that you put down because of shame or self-doubt. And so just go out there, do it. You're gonna thank yourself later.